It's on. Oh, it is so on. Man, we did a video today about Back to the Future. Right? We did that. Now, here's the news when it comes to that. I want people to get a chance to come in here. Hopefully y'all getting the notifications. A lot of times what you see is a lot of people don't know where to put said information. Now, when you look at me, there's a whole different instance to the situation. As we finna get down and dirty, thanks for everybody who's super chatting. Thanks for everybody who hit up my Cash App, which is Carcino. In case you don't super chat and you use Cash App, Carcino is the name on the Cash App. And everybody say they stay woke. Now, this is finna get real interesting. Okay? So I want you guys to understand where we're going with this so that you would always understand the type of person Stephen A is. Okay? So Stephen A has always been a different type of human being because he has daddy issues. He's got deep, scarred daddy issues. But he also said he was the dumb one. He was always the dumb one because he felt he was always the one left back. But why does he feel that way? Well, I'm about to show you. This is how it starts. So pay attention. Y'all ready? Here we go.
From the time I was 6, I thought I was stupid. Although I talked well and a lot, and articulated my thoughts fluidly enough that some folks swore one day I'd become a lawyer or a public speaker, it was all a facade. I couldn't comprehend what I was reading. A deficit that my oratory skills only served to hide. It got worse each year, stunting my ability and willingness to grow intellectually. Before long, I was in the 2nd grade, but reading at a 1st grade level.
Damn.
Then I was in the 3rd grade.
Damn.
Still at a 1st grade reading level.
Damn.
I got decent grades anyway. Mostly A's and B's. I gave presentations in front of the class based on recall of whatever the teacher had taught us. I could ask and answer provocative questions. For much of the time inside the classroom, squirming at my desk with all those other squirming kids at PS 134. I don't remember feeling like there was anything wrong. Then, at the end of each school year, we take a reading comprehension test to determine whether or not we should be promoted to the next grade. I was helpless on those tests.
He was helpless.
That's when I felt the profound shame of thinking I just wasn't smart. When I was left back the first time in 3rd grade, a stint in summer school was enough to get me moved up in September. But my reading deficiency continued through the 4th grade. And when I bombed the comprehension test at the end of that school year, I was left back yet again. This time for the whole next year.
Wow.
Had I not been so determined to get myself together and rid myself of the shame I felt, I truly believe I eventually would have wound up dead or in jail, like many of my childhood friends wound up. Because without an education, the streets of Hollis were eager to claim me. I was lost. I was the only one I knew in the neighborhood left back. And the kids on my block, smart-ass New York City kids, were merciless. Donald, Mark, Willie, Billy, and Tony. Practically everyone in Hollis within shouting distance of 203rd Street was laughing at me at ear-splitting volume. Boy, you got left back again? Everybody laughed except Pooley, my closest
Streets
friend.
of Hollis.
He lived right across the street.
Queens.
Big and tough and eager to show that he was both. Pooley took care of anybody who messed with me. He always had my back. Always took my side in any argument. and never backed down from anyone. After I was left back that second time, however, even Pooley felt helpless to do anything. I mean, it's not like the other kids were wrong. Hell, Pooley was never left back. Damn was all he could come up with to comfort me.
How is he gonna
40
comfort
years
you?
later, I still remember all those kids' names and faces and the things they said.
Well, you should
They weren't
remember
just
them.
kids. They didn't know any better. I knew that even then.
Kids don't make fun of you. That's what they do.
As much as it still hurts. Instead, I held it against myself. I believed I deserved their abuse and absorbed accountability for it. But I also was convinced I'd get better. I knew that if I could stomach the embarrassment of that setback and still march forward, I could withstand anything. But there was something else that caused me to let them off the hook. A bigger chip that was dropped on my shoulder. Their laughter and taunts weren't anything compared to the shame delivered by my father.
His daddy.
I'd get over that too.
Daddy issue.
But I would never let it go. The day I learned I'd be repeating the 4th grade, I sat on the steps of our back porch and cried. I was hiding from the world, too ashamed to show my face to anybody. But between sobs and sniffles, I overheard my parents talking through an open kitchen window. My mother had just told my father that I'd got left back for the 2nd consecutive June. Her voice sounded worried, empathetic, in search of a solution. My dad's voice was the opposite. Matter of fact, resigned, dismissive. Give it up, Janet, he told her. Like he was talking about a sink he'd never be able to fix. The boy just ain't smart. He's not going anywhere. Accept it. My mother must have heard one of my sobs and peeked out the window.
Damn.
She cringed when she realized I'd overheard every word that my dad had said about me.
Woo.
She was so hurt by that knowledge that she looked as if she were in more pain than I was, something I wouldn't have thought possible. That made everything even worse. And my dad, he did what he always did. Retreated to the living room, sank into his chair, and read the paper or watched TV. He'd be gone in a day or two anyway. My mother became so consumed by the fiasco of my hearing my father's cutthroat dismissal that it distracted her, for at least a little bit, from his other shenanigans. She did whatever she could to cater to my emotional needs.
See?
She knew I was a wreck.
Mama's
For
boy.
instance, a few days afterward, she shocked me by taking me to a movie theater to see Grease, starring John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John. I remember that day so vividly because it was the only time that either of my parents ever took me to a movie theater. I knew we couldn't afford it. When I asked my mom, "What are you doing? You never go to the movies yourself, so why would you take me?" She said, "Because I love you, and I want you to know that. Always." And she left it at that. The fact is,
Now, we can leave that there. Now, as you can see, as he told you, the man couldn't pass the 3rd and 4th grade because he couldn't read with comprehension. He made that very clear and very known. Stephen A. Smith. And only bring this up, not to shame him, because he went to study, to practice, to get better, so he wouldn't have that infliction when he get older, and he still has it to this day. But this man is quick to point out how unintelligent people are. Professional athletes, black professional athletes, black entertainers, how they're not smart. So we're not showing this to shame him. We're showing this and we're playing this for y'all so y'all can understand where he came from. And it's like, why would you ever do that to somebody else when they did it to you? When you were failing the 3rd and 4th grade and you mad at your daddy because you got daddy issues. that never was resolved. Your daddy issues were never resolved. But now the general public who never heard that before is seeing this and hearing it, and it's like, wow, this explains a lot. You see the people in the chat? They are saying, like, man, I never knew all this. Yeah. So when I tell you I know about this guy, we knew all about this stuff. There is so much on the table that's going on. Hurt people hurt people. You're right. That's what they do. Now let's take a look at this.
Decent human beings you'll ever find on the planet. I don't usually spend my time addressing my colleagues because I respect all of them. But I ain't gonna take that shit from y'all.
Woo! Look at that. This man is ready to throw down. He done lifted a couple of weights. He lost 5 pounds. And now he think he got a little cut coming in. He got some bass in his voice now. He got some bass. Let's listen.
I'm the dumb one.
Woo!
I'm the one.
I'm the dumb one. You heard him say it.
I'm the one who got left back in the 4th grade with a 1st grade reading level. I'm the dumb one. I'm the one who got left back in the 4th grade with a 1st grade reading level. I'm the one who had undiagnosed dyslexia. I'm the one who still reads things twice because I still don't have full confidence of my comprehension from time to time because I still have the residue of when I was younger and I got left back. I'm the dumb one compared to everybody I mentioned.
Notice the people he mentioned, ladies and gentlemen. The people he mentioned are white people. Everybody he mentioned was white. And while defending white people, he says himself, I am the dumb one, compared to all those white people I've named. He would shame himself just to say, hey, I'm the dumb one here. I'm the dumb one. I'm dumb. He uses those big words to throw people off, to give you the assumption that he is smart. Now we're going to get to the gist of what's really going on here. Oh, they're not going to let a lot of people hear this video. They're already doing everything in their power because it's showing up in the timeline. Oh, they know. They don't want people to see this. Now, the reason why we made this video is because he went out and called Jason Whitlock, a fat bastard. Not on ESPN, but on his Stephen A. Smith show. See, he does things on this show because he knows he can get away with it. He knows on this show he will not be punished until one day he's going to say the wrong thing. And they're going to let him dig his own grave. They're letting him do it now. You see, in sports, in the sports world, they let you build up before they come and say anything. They be like, we gave him a warning years ago, and now he's on what we call a zero tolerance plan. Now, because they needed him so much, because Skip Bayless was gone, and they said, well, damn, we can't look this bad. We got to step this up in a way. How? Now, he thinks what happens on YouTube is, oh, this is my YouTube account. It's separate from when I'm on ESPN. You're foolish. That's like saying an NBA basketball player or any professional athlete, what they tweet on Twitter won't affect them. Run that by Kyrie Irving and the countless others that have lost millions and billions because of what they said someplace else or what they tweeted. You're actually putting video to it. Now, if Jason Whitlock was to go to ESPN and say, your anchor is on social media video, actually body shaming me, which is not really accepted anymore from somebody else, this could affect your job. Me, I could call him a 12 burger with cheese and pork rind fat bastard all I want about Jason Whitlock. It would probably be accurate, especially for barbecue. Ooh-wee. If he's barbecuing some pork, he gonna show up. Yeah, we did the whole video where he talked about ribs for the whole show. He brought a guy on his show just to talk about some ribs. Now, I don't disagree with him calling a fat bastard at all, because he is. That ain't the point. My thing is, this is a man, once again, he's being a glass house. He's the one that acts like he stands up for efforts and tell all the professional athletes, you got to conduct yourself. You're blowing the money. How you out there calling people fat bastards and out of their name, and you got an endorsement contract? Now you done blew all that money. But why was he so eagerly to come after him? You know I know the truth, Stephen A. You know I know the truth. And the truth of the matter is that Whitlock bust him out about 10 years ago, 11 years ago. Jason Whitlock wrote an article about you when you was on First Take with Skip Bayless. And you was trying to use Dave Chappelle's line, and you was using it as your call line so that people could know you by. And that was going to be your calling card. You was trying to get that established. Doing your little fake rants and go out and you use the word and you would drop it. And he called you out on it. And you never spoke to him again. And act like it's his fault. You was going around using the N-word. See, y'all don't remember when he was dropping the N-word all the time on the show. That's where he don't like Whitlock, because Whitlock wrote an article and bust you out. And he was right about it. He was right about you. You see, what Stephen A would do is he would wait and he would go in and would kill an argument. And whenever somebody says something or he'll say his statement, he would go in and go, nigga, please. That was what he was trying to make his calling card. It got popular once they had the cereal on the Dave Chappelle skit on the Chappelle show. And he just decided like he wanted to run with that as his calling card. You see, that's the Stephen A. Smith we know. We remember, buddy. Check it out.
Kobe Bryant is going to miss it because my foot is sprained? Are y'all crazy? Nigga, please. Okay.
So he was saying that constantly. Mm-hmm. Constantly. This is why he hates Whitlock. Because Whitlock wrote an article crushing it. He was dropping the N-word all the time. And they was like, well, why is it cool for Stephen A to say this and get away with it?
This spring? Are y'all crazy? Nigga, please. This is a waste of time.
Mr. Dignified. But you see that? He was going to say it to another black man like, man, Nick plays. Like he cool or something. Like he hip. Trying to be... See, it's always trying to be cool and hip and all this. But then you supposed to be like intellectual. Right? He's a con man. The same way he said he used to call people. He said it all lame too. Hey, please. Like a straight lame. That's exactly how he said it. He don't change. Oh, they know it's true. Everything I'm saying is true. I mean, how could you deny it? How could you deny the words that are coming out of my mouth when it's coming out of his mouth? I'm not saying it. He's saying it. So everything you basically hearing is been said. It's just that y'all don't really remember it. Now watch what he said to Skip Bayless.
That's the way it goes.
Gentlemen, we got to wrap it up.
Please.
Please. We can do this.
There it is.
Please.
We can do this later.
The way it goes.
Gentlemen, we got to wrap it up.
Please.
There you go. Nigga, please. He thought he was so cool.
That's the way it goes.
Gentlemen, we gotta wrap it up.
Please.
And that was in 2013. He was like, look at Skip Flake. Right. So he said it to Skip. Skip like, yes, I've made it. I'm an N-word now. I'm official. So it don't surprise us because we already know this is what he does. You know, like this is Stephen A. So this was getting a lot of publicity till that article came out. And he was getting famous for it. Yeah, I remember all of it like it was yesterday. Thank y'all for hitting the like button. If y'all just got here, please do that so that they can know you guys are real. You're not bots. If you're new here, subscribe, hit the like button up, share it on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, whatever, so that these people can know. Look, he even called LeBron James one. Look.
6'11", you're 7 feet. That's the way it goes.
Gentlemen, we gotta wrap it up.
Please.
He don't hesitate.
It doesn't hold water. And secondly, and more importantly, where I am completely diametrically opposed to your position is that he's trying to bully Nick Saban. If you're trying to be a bully, Nick Saban ain't the one that would, that you're trying to do that to. Nick Saban is on that level.
You found that out.
Nigga. A matter of fact, Nick Saban is on a bigger level because last time I checked, he's got more championships than LeBron.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Oh, somebody just sent me a message. That's why. Hold on. I got you, because we just scraping the surface right now. Y'all been getting all this good exclusive. Now, let's take a look at this.
Curse on the city and the local areas for half a century. That nigga, look, man. We gon' that nigga, look, man. That nigga, look, man. That nigga, that nigga, look. That nigga, look. That nigga, that nigga, that nigga, that nigga, that nigga, that nigga, that nigga. That nigga, look, man.
So, he's been saying the N-word on the shows, and it was exploited by Jason Whitlock. He wrote an article, and Stephen A. Smith has been on his head ever since. Straight up. That is the bottom line. Stephen. Exactly. So that's why Jason Whitlock and him don't get along. Jason Whitlock actually tried to patch things up with him. Stephen A don't want nothing to do with him now. All because he embarrassed him by writing that article. So Stephen A holds a personal grudge against Whitlock just for that. Now, Marcelus Wiley. Here's why he doesn't like Marcelus Wiley. He really doesn't dislike him. He dislikes the fact that he tried to make it, well, he flashed the spotlight on him and tried to throw the race card into it. And it's funny, Stephen A is always playing the victim. Everything you just seen here on this video has basically shown you, from Stephen A talking about his learning disability, everything about him, how he was failing the 3rd and 4th grade over and over again. Everything he was saying is the same thing he used to attack other people. Now he wants to play victim and use the black card and the race card, and he uses that only with people that look just like him, other black people. So what we've done is shown you the pot calling the damn kettle black. So all of this has been showing you who he really is. This is a revealing. And what Marcelus Wiley did is didn't get loud. He didn't shout. He just hit him with facts. And see, it's hard for him to do this with Marcelus Wiley because he knows Marcelus Wiley is someone who is educated. Your big words, everything that you throw, it's not going to work with him. He's not some dumb jock. He was very successful at sports. He didn't fall into your race bait trap. He exploited what you tried to do by exposing that. And he went back to reiterate a point that you could throw race in front of it all you want, but that's what you do. You use race all the time, as you always go after African Americans. So the race baiter is really you. This, that, ether. That's right, Q Lee. Now, we're going to get even more interesting because here's the narrative. When Carrie Champion was there, right? You didn't do anything to take her side. She went to you as a brother. Like, you a black man. You a black man who got sisters, who was raised by your mama and your sisters. Your brother didn't raise you. Your brother got grown. He took off. He was much older than you. Now, before he died, rest in peace. Now, here's where it got interesting, people. Here's where the whole scene seemed to get way beyond the gravitas of what other people are seeing and what they know. I'm explaining to you right here. Stephen A. Smith went ahead and decided to do something that was unprecedented at the time. When a black woman is complaining with the company and everything else, and she's wanting to explain it, and she went and vented to the brother man. The brother man said, well, I mean, I mean, you and Skip should have that talk. That can't really, I can't really do anything for you. Then you kind of attacked her on the show. Right after she came to you, like, brother, what's up? Help me out. Help a sister out. You was taking shots at her and cutting her off on the show and coming at her. Like you was saying, I got your back, Skip. How dare this bitch? You see? That's how you came at her. And she knew right then, I can't trust Stephen A. Smith. My own brother. I'm on my own. Stephen A. didn't get Rob Parker fired. Rob Parker got Rob Parker fired. No. Skip tried to save him, go to the studio and say, hey, man, Rob, at least suspend him. They was like, nah, Rob been on probation for a minute. And the NFL and everybody else is on our back. We're going to have to let him go. So they let him go. So ESPN had fired him after he made the remarks about RG3. And once he did the RJ3 remarks, and they let him go. Now RG3 got his job. So it's crazy how the circle comes around full. Rob got picked up by Skip Bayless when he went to Fox. They brought him back. Rob Parker was back in the mix, and now he's on Fox Radio. They don't really bring him in the studio no more. But he's been a journalist for years in the Detroit Free Press. Called him a cornball, and because you called him a cornball, the man was replaced. He lost his job for calling him a cornball. Them making him lose his job over that, when I've seen people called worse on these shows, that was a cornball move by them to do that. They just wanted to get rid of Rob Parker anyway. Now, moving right along, what Marcelus Wiley actually did, and what Stephen A. is trying to escape the whole question of why he's doing this, is he brought the conversation back to the point. And the point was, it was never about him. It wasn't about Marcelus Wiley. It was about what you were doing, Stephen A. You got Max removed from the show, from First Take. You got him fired. And I've always said, and I told you guys, and you didn't believe me, but my video had 100,000 views. He used conversations and talking about focus groups. There was no focus group. It was my YouTube page. I did the truth behind First Take and Undisputed before Undisputed had ever aired an episode, and told a whole background story of what was going on behind the scenes, why Skip left, how this show was going to be, and the dynamic of what First Take was now that they had Max Kellerman. And they were still auditioning to see who should have that spot. I told people right away, Max wasn't the guy. And I gave them the prime reason why Max Kellerman wasn't that guy. And Stephen A. showed the bosses my video, because I know he did that, and he's looking in the comment section of my video, and he's going off like, look what the people are saying in the comment section. Look, they're telling you this got over 100,000 views. That's 100,000. The reason how I knew it was factual and true is because he was saying the exact words that was coming from my comment section in the video and exactly statements I was making on the video. He was using me. He knew it didn't work. He just didn't know why. But the real reason why it wasn't working was because of him. Now, the dynamic was Max wasn't doing his job. And I'm finna let you guys know and let you guys in on that right now. Max Kellerman, ladies and gentlemen, and I want y'all to hear this clearly. Max Kellerman is a journalist at heart. He's a reporter. He came in through boxing, he came through hip hop and everything else. But have you noticed he doesn't really, his passion is really boxing. Doesn't mean that's all he knows. He knows how to research. He's very smart. Ivy League, school, everything. Now, what he's not is passionate. He doesn't have a passionate commitment to something or to a team. Like a Cowboy fan, it's like right now, they still defending the Cowboys after the Cowboys just got waxed at every aspect of the game. They still talking about, man, it's the Dak Prescott. We just replaced him. We all right. We put Cooper Rush in. Man, ain't nothing wrong. Just give CD the ball. That's what we doing. Man, we could have won that game. It's all the stupid stuff we did. They're going to find an angle to keep rooting for their team. They're going to fight. So they had to grab, they were like, Max, who is your team? He was like, well, I rooted for the Giants, but he don't really give a damn about the Giants. Max don't have a passion. He's not committed. So you don't feel any passion. He was mostly agreeing with what Stephen A was saying. Like, yeah, that's a good point. I kind of agree with that. But I would say, let's look at the other side of the coin. It was like, wait a minute, this is a debate. We want to look at the other side of the coin. He's just presenting this for the people at home. Like, I'm just presenting an argument for you. You guys could have it as a discussion if you guys want it. It was like, no, we want to hear you argue about it. But the fans is like, these dudes don't care about nothing. So it wasn't like he ain't a journalist, so they don't even respect him. He wasn't an athlete or a journalist, so why should they listen to him? That's not what people were saying, Stephen A. Max didn't fit because he didn't have the passion for a debate. Now, you could put him as a Sports Center host, knock it out the park. He could do that, period. But as a debate, he didn't have that passion to be yelling or screaming. And that's what he ended up doing. So the bosses brought Max in. They was like, well, Max got a name, so we don't want to get rid of Max for that. Max, come in here. Can you have a little bit more passion? If you just, So he started going out. Max Kellerman is basically screaming at the top of his lungs. And then it just started becoming, the topics were terrible. And every time they did have an issue, like it was like trying to get things to trend on TikTok or Instagram or whatever people were using at the time. And it was just too redundant. And Max was too smart to be doing something like that. It was just, he's too smart for it. Now, here's the other dynamic. Stephen A was mad he couldn't get rid of Max. So he was doing something very noticeable that Marcelus Wiley saw and other people saw on the internet. Like he was really mean to Max on the show live on air. While Max is doing his job, he wasn't trying to play off what Max is doing. If Max tells a joke, he's not really laughing at the joke. He's not backing up his partner. Max is hip hop to the core. So his references, he definitely could pick that up. So he would try to belittle Max all the time on the show and try to play, he want to be big dog. Now, here's the problem. Marcelus Wiley knows your plan. Will Kane would have been perfect. And when Will Kane was on the show, you knew right away, I can't do this with Will Kane. It ain't going to work. Even though he fits, he has the passion. He's a Cowboy fan. He's right wing all the way. He going to make you look as black as possible. But you can't do that with Will Kane. Because Will ain't going to let you have any inch of that rope. He going to try to take the show over. And you didn't like that. So he wasn't going to work. Marcelus Wiley used to work with Max. So you went and asked and talked to Marcelus Wiley, how is Max before he hired him, before he got hired? It's like, we're thinking of bringing him on the show and all this. But you thought what he was thinking and what he was like, oh, Max is good. He gave you a whole rundown about Max. But what you wanted on the show for a co-host was a white guy. You specifically said you was looking for a white guy to be the host, the co-host of the show. You didn't want another brother. You could have took Marcelus Wiley. You wanted a white guy. And you never came out and addressed that part, period. Marcelus Wiley said that, and you've never addressed it, Stephen A. So answer those questions. Did you specifically say you wanted a white guy to be your host when Skip Bayless left? You wanted a white guy. You got a white guy. And while they were doing this,
How you doing? What's your name?
While they were doing this, everything changed, right? Like everything started pivoting. This is how it's going to get even more interesting right now so that you guys can see it and get the whole gist of what's going on. Here's how it changed. What he wanted a white guy for is because he wanted to be able to have the guy, Max, after he say a point and whatever, have him bow down to him on the show and let him win the debate. That's what he wanted. He wanted to, he make a point, and I come over the top. And that's all she wrote. And that's how the show gonna go. So that's what he wanted out of the show. I gotta come out on top. It's my show. So you gotta make me look good. That's what he wanted from Max. So when Max wasn't giving him that, Max was like, okay, so what am I supposed to do? Just let him win and just back off? And he was like, all right. Then Max started doing his job and would throw his little Max in there. And then that's it. He'll cower down. And it's like, this is not even Max. Max is not even being Max. He's not even being allowed to be Max. Max is like, I'm just doing what I can. I'll get in my spots. I throw these little jabs in, and then I get out. So, but Max wouldn't let him win. He was beating him with intelligence. He's doing what Stephen A wants him to do, but Max is doing it in a way that even if Stephen A comes back with his big yelling, blah, 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 yeah, and he felt like he slam dunked the ball, you still just lost the game by 20 because Max didn't put what he said ended the ball game. What you did didn't even matter after that. See, that's how smart Max was. He was like, you could be loud. Loud don't mean you're right. I'm just going to sit here and land a point. And if you can't beat the point, then that's that. So it became, at that point, I don't like working with him. I don't like working with Max. Because Stephen A's realizing I'm not winning here. And he's smart. He knows I'm dumb. He's got to go. He's got to go. So saying that he was threatened by a white man's intelligence, yes, you was threatened by intelligence, period. You don't like smart people. Stephen A don't like to be the guy who can, smart people can see through people who's pretending to be smart. No, he was pretending to be. Well, you got to understand. Yeah. So this is the real reason is he don't have a problem with Marcelus Wiley. He got a problem with the fact Marcelus Wiley is flashing a spotlight on him and pointing out the actual issue at hand. And he addressed it. And he just reiterated it in that last video by once again saying, I'm not afraid of you. Stephen A, if you were smart, you wouldn't have answered T.O. the way you did on the show. You would have laughed it off and then you would have talked to him off camera. By doing that on camera, you just made yourself look really stupid because he already knows people in social media chats and everybody else was already saying that. Because when it came down to the social issues, first which they weren't allowing at ESPN, then they started allowing social issues once the Colin Kaepernick situation happened. Now all of a sudden, oh, we could do social issues now on ESPN. And then that happened. What black man and black woman you stood up for the job? He talking about, I said, you got to get people of color in here. I stood up. Did you stand up for the black woman that got fired for exposing? Well, she didn't get fired. She ended up quitting after they suspended her for Rachel Nichols' situation. And she showed that video to Maria Taylor, and then she lost her job because of it. Did you step up for her? Did you make sure she was straight? Did you step up for Jamel Hill and Michael Smith? Oh no, that's because you wanted that job. You wanted the 6 p.m. Sports Center job, and you almost had it. Almost had it. You were this close. That close. But you made a misogynistic statement, and it cost you the 6 p.m. Sports Center job. And then they gave it to Jamel Hill and Michael Smith. And you was sideline happy for him. Oh, I'm happy for you. Yeah. I hope we're the same team. No, he was mad. He tried to go in there and talk to the main boss. Went over everybody's head, tried to get the job from them. That's Stephen A. Smith. So after the first 3 years, he's like, look, I've done 3 years with this guy. He got to go. The bosses didn't agree. The bosses saw we're still number one, but the shows were boring. They was stupid. The topics were dumb. They was making stupid topics up. And some was even making Max look stupid. As if they came up with these stupid topics to try to make the other person look dumb. So Stephen A went in there trying to prove to the bosses he's right by arguing with Max, yelling at Max, condescending everything he's doing. And it showed. So pretty soon, Max is like, well, I ain't going to take this no more. I'm just going to do what I want to do anyway. Since he's trying to get rid of me and they're going to probably get rid of me off the show. What the hell? So Max was just firing right back and wouldn't let Stephen A have that upper hand. And Max has never said anything about it. He'll probably address it in the book. See, Stephen A's been running around town. Stephen A has been running around town. Man, I swear it's like 45 Kwame Brown videos. I'll be lost in the sauce. I was on the live stream, then the live stream ended, then it was like another live stream. I'm like, is this another live stream? Or it was like 2 live streams back to back. I'm like, I'm slipping. I was like, I just did that. It was a video. It was a live. Now here's another video. I'm like, Jesus Christ. He ain't gonna let me breathe. He coming with it. So that's his main issue with him, ladies and gentlemen. Max Kellerman is not a racist man. Max Kellerman's brother was killed by a former boxer who punched a guy after the bell in the ring and broke his jaw. That clip is everywhere. He got arrested for that. His brother, they allowed this guy to live with him, and he was crazy anyway. And he ended up breaking his brother's neck and killed him. Max could have been blaming all black people for that. Like, he don't like black people because of that. No. Polar opposite. That one incident didn't define a whole race of people. He didn't let it, because it doesn't. What one person do don't affect an entire race. What a group of people do don't affect an entire race. Oh no, he ain't got no shortcomings. He got a bunch of large. He got some large comings. I mean, shoot. That's why I call him Shitlock. That dude was doo-dooing up the doggone break rooms, tearing up. Man, that's what I'm saying. Everybody want to get out of there. Dude be smelling like doo-doo. He had them big old arms. He couldn't reach back there and wipe real good. So he had to put a whole roll of toilet paper on his hand. Toilet paper about this long, so he can reach back there and try to get all the doo-doo that's all on his back collar. Then you got to work with him. The odor was not pleasant. That odor smell was not pleasant. Don't you see that Chinese man ain't never in the studio with him when they do the show? You see that Asian man, what's his name, Steve Kim? Steve Kim ain't in the studio with him. Steve Kim be somewhere else. Like, I ain't gonna be around that stanky bastard no more. Man, that dude doo-dooed in the executive toilet, I heard. When he was at ESPN, they had just hired him back, and then he was just fired in like a month. They like, that boy took a doo-doo in an executive toilet, and the doo-doo was none of it was in the water. It was all around the ring. It's like, how the hell you doo-doo like that? You doo-doo in donuts or something? But you had a butt plug in there while you was doodling, and it just came straight out and went, came out as one big donut and just didn't and got on the sides of the toilet. On the insides of the toilet, you you didn't even hit the water. Goddamn janitor's still mad at your ass. And that's how he became Jason Shitlock. Right. It's like he had a butt plug in there, it was stuck. And then the dude just went all around the butt plug and then came out like one big donut. And just stuck to the sides of the bowl, the inside bowl. And none of it was in the water, man. That man, I'm telling you, man, that them janitors, the National Janitors Association, they gonna get together and boycott you, dude. You gonna have to do your own plumbing. You gonna have to get an outhouse or something, get a bucket. Let me tell this chick I ain't gonna be able to come out tonight. I ain't driving way out there. Now, yeah, he made a toilet paper gloves to try to go back there and whack. That's the downfall of being that size, and you can't reach around and start, taking care of the things you need to. Hmm. Okay, there it is. Kyrie just got ranked 34. 34 in what? No, Stephen A. Daddy issues is his father's passed away and he never ever got those things resolved because he never was man enough to deal with those. He reacts like a female would because he was raised by his mom. As you heard today on this video from Stephen A himself tell you how his mother coddled to him. When his daddy said something that scorned him, instead of him approaching his daddy, mom always went to him and coddled him. He was the baby boy. So she always took care of Stephen. they never really gotten along. He liked his first son, his first child with her, who was named after him. He had no real connection with Stephen A. And that bothered him. Every time he tried to have a moment with him, they were like night and day. As he would tell Stephen A., you got too much of your mother in you. And that's why he pretty much didn't like him. So let that stick in to your brains a little bit. Absolutely. And I want to thank everybody who showed up here today. Shouts out to Kwame Brown Bus Life. Kwame Brown's 50,000 videos in a minute. Welcome to HD Two Eyes TV. Jag Sports, Jose Rodriguez. Ticket has been on fire. Ticket TV, man. This has been his these last 2 months. It's been Ticket Ram. I'm catching back up though, Ticket. I'm catching back up. I'm back on my jail. Tell you, after the 14th, I'll really be back. I'll be fully back. Like right now, this week, I'm 100. Then I gotta go fly out, take care of some business. So after that, then right back on it. But yeah, man, Ticket been bringing that heat. Shouts out to Damn D Beef. Damn D, man, when G said that about Carson Daly, damn, he got fat. Man, what's that MTV dude name? Man, I was on the floor, man. That's the funniest thing. I did not expect to hear that. That was funny how you dropped that. Yeah. I don't have women problems. Women have problems. Oh, she said okay. I told her I ain't gonna make it tonight. She said okay. Bet. Night is done. Now I call another one that's closer by and tell her, you're up. And that's how it works. So, any questions for me before we get out of here? Oh, definitely. If you're on the Patreon, there's a video I aired today with Jenny May or Jenny Ma, right? And that Jenny Ma video that you saw earlier today that was uploaded, that was done some time ago. And YouTube and Jenny Ma has been coming after me after these Jeezy videos. Like, I guess her team or whoever she got representing her, she's crying at YouTube. So I had to edit the video. So what you're seeing is not really the entire video. I did it the best way I could to get it to play. So on the Patreon, you're gonna see the whole video though. Oh yeah. You ain't getting away, Jeannie. So all my Patreon members, you're gonna get to see the whole thing. Yeah. So that's for all the tiers of the Patreon. Now we do have the Patreon giveaway still going on. You're gonna get the gift card for the equivalence of a PS5, and we might be doing it every month. We don't know yet, but as of this month, it's definitely going down. We might do some stuff for other tiers. Yesterday, I gave away 5 movies. So, it is what it is. Exactly. So I'm out of here, man. You said, do I have, what's your advice of trying to be a brand ambassador for a clothing line? Depends on the clothing line. It depends on the company. Brand ambassador is it's okay, it's cool, but you don't want to. It depends on what your brand is and what your actual niche is for the brand. A lot of people think like, what are they going to pay me, or am I getting free clothes? Don't sell yourself cheap, because you know if you're doing this just for clothes, why would another person who's bigger see that and be like, well, let's pay him? They might come with the same deal, like, well, you didn't charge them money, or you didn't do this. It's all about negotiation and knowing your worth, and is the brand suitable for you? Is the company even capable of rising? Got to know a lot. It's a lot. Just don't pick one because they pick you. The truth behind, man, I got truth behind sports beefs, truth behind hip hop. Yeah, I got them in the playlist. I got a whole playlist. Just check out the Carsano for Life playlist. We got the truth behind TV shows. We have the truth behind. So we started a whole niche. Absolutely. Any new ones in the work? Haven't thought about it. Bulls are not making the playoffs. Um, okay, CT. Yeah, that's why I'm trying to let everybody get in before I do the raffle. Before I do the giveaway. And was he capping about 70 bloods? That's funny that you said that, Rockstar, because I was on Gene's Deals page today. He was mad at me for saying something in the chat. And I'm like, dude, he's like, how you gonna tell my story before I say it? Man, you on my video telling my story in the chat. Don't do that, brother. I'm like, all right, my bad. I'm like, I'm in the chat backing him up on the story that he's telling, because the story he told is accurate. But I'll do a video on that because I didn't even do a video. I have not done a video on that at all. So I will do a video addressing the 70 bloods. Okay. But I didn't. I didn't say one word about it and didn't do anything. Only time I commented ever was in his chat on his video. So I let Gene go first, or whenever he wanted to do it, and let him go eat. I'm like, I'm just letting you eat off your own content. I ain't said a word. When you decided to talk, I showed up. Let you go first. Yeah, we can do that. We can sit back and talk on there. I have no problem with that. I think they blocked me in the chat or something. Like, it was crazy. Like, I didn't even do anything. I'm like, his moderators is a little nuts. I'm like, I ain't gonna super chat somebody I'm not like got a problem with. No, the only thing he ever did that was like that was incorrect is he was telling the story and one part of it was wrong. And I told the truth. Like, no, that part was wrong. I know that for fact. Now, this is why I actually said what I said, because I knew that to be true. Let Gene tell his story on his platform, though, man. I did. Y'all act like I stopped him from doing what he was doing or something. I didn't say. I still haven't made a video. So what is you talking about? I ain't made one video. So if I wasn't telling his story or whatever, everybody else that made videos galore, nobody said a word. I ain't made one video. One video. I ain't said nothing. That was yesterday. I could have easily made the video. How do I know what I know? Hell, I talked to Mace myself personally before he said the 70 Bloods comment. Dude, what are you talking about? I tried telling this story before he finished. I didn't. As he showed you in the thing, it said he came down the stairs at the Century Club. That was all I said. That was already common knowledge. That's not telling the story. If I put a sentence in, a sentence ain't telling the story. And my thing is, the story has already been told by Gene. So it's not like this is breaking news. He's already told this story about 2-3 times, actually. Probably more than that. So this is not like he was telling something that's brand spanking new that nobody else in the world had heard. This really was a rehashing of what was already said. So I'm there backing him up. I'm like, yeah, Gene was right. Gene's right on that. Gene's right on this. So I'm just really showing love and appreciation. Not there to tell the whole story before either, because I'm not really telling the whole story. Right. I'm not finna tell the whole story. I'm just backing him up with what he's saying. Then he was like, stop telling it. I was like, my bad. And I told him in the chat, I said, hey, my bad. I'll sit back, let you cook. Go ahead. I was just backing you up. Right. If I wanted to, I would have made a video right after Mace said 70 Bloods. I would have cranked up my phone and let him go. And I said, nah, I'm gonna let Gene. It was an alley oop for Gene. So I said, well, let Gene go ahead and do that. I didn't even make a video. Everybody else went crazy. Man, 70 Bloods was there. Gene saved his life. And they were going running off with it. And they was like asking me, Cino, what'd you think about it? I'm like, let Gene eat off of it and let him wait to Gene. Gene on this is alley oop for him. And when he did make his video, I was on the live right there, like, go on, Gene, do your thing. Didn't say nothing. Like, I didn't tell the whole story. You see, when he asked questions, I answered him. He was, what's the name of the hotel that they was staying in? It was all white. I was like, the Mondrian. Everybody knows that. Like, they should if you've been in LA. And he was like, yeah, Cino been there 1,000 times. Like, he being funny, but yeah, I've actually been there quite a few times. That's like the rapper's hotel. If you're a rap artist, you stay there. Like if you're like Jay-Z, Jay-Z ain't gonna be in the Mondrian. Okay, Diddy ain't gonna be in no Mondrian. But all the other rappers, like if Mobb Deep came there, like Naughty by Nature, Busta Rhymes, and all them, they'll be in the Mondrian. That was like the rap hotel then. I've told y'all that story before in the Mondrian when we got there. No, man, Debo, shut up. He was not trying to throw no hands with me. And ain't nobody talking about fighting no Gene deal. What's going on with you? Thanks, Key. He didn't need Joe backing though. Dude, what are you trying to accomplish? So people in the comment section, so he don't need people in the comment section then. Okay. So what y'all in the comment section for then? Like he don't need you backing him up. Just trying to start something controversial. Oh, which movie was it? Because I know you didn't get it for free, Eileen. Thanks for lying. Thanks for lying. Who's worse, Stephen A. Smith and Jason Whitlock? Both serve a disservice to the people. Both are equally as bad. Yep. So anyway, I'm gonna get up out of here. You said I'm gonna give a shout out in the chat. He said Gilbert go after Dreamers Pro Charles. He went after Dreamers Pro? When did he do that? What did he do that for? Dreamers Pro was actually was fair to him. When he did something stupid, they called it out, and when he did something they liked, they called it out. Like they was fair with him. Where he diss him on his No Chill Guild thing or the shit show? I was at the wedding, so I couldn't go to the Wu-Tang concert. Absolutely. So anyway, I'm gonna get up out of here because I gotta roll. Man, it's been dope. I'ma holler at y'all. One.